Happy day! Thank you for visiting Synchronicity Sagas. This is where numbers weave through real life in ways that are weird, wild, and sometimes so ordinary you'd miss the message if you weren't paying attention. I'm Miriam, your numerology nerd and cosmic hype woman, and I'm sitting down with real people, real stories, and real numbers to uncover the patterns that shape our lives. Because let's be real, coincidences are just lazy synchronicities waiting to be noticed. And once you see the pattern, that's where the real magic kicks in. So let's get into it. Today we hear from Celeste.
Recording at any point and we're in and that's it. And let me know if there's any like weird noises or anything on my end. But like let's hi everyone, we're diving in because like honestly, I'm ready to talk. I keep trying to stop myself from like, oh, and let's get into this because yeah, it's just one of those conversations, you know? So this is Celeste. Oh
Now,
goodness. All
I
right.
hate cameras. You will never see pictures of me. I don't do selfies.
Mhm.
I've never liked it's yeah. I like nature photos. I only take photos of like my animal, my cats or stuff, but this is a huge, huge thing for me because I'm an INFJ. I'm so introverted. But look at me, I'm like yeah. Anyway, so
As it should be. I'm ENFJ, but like right on the border of INFJ and ENFJ. So it's like, who knows? Like it's like depending on the day. So it's like I feel you. I feel you. But then also ENFJ is like almost the exact opposite in so many ways. Like I'm supposed to be the main character. So I'm sure I don't know what your E and I are at and how close they are together on your percentage wise. But if it's a 51-49, I'm just letting you know you're supposed to be the main character.
well, I've learned I've always approached life very differently. Um, at a young age, there's a lot of, trauma and stuff and abuse. And um, at a young age, I just had a really interesting perspective on stuff. And
Mm.
I was never a person that went to anyone for advice because for some
Mm.
reason, like, I just knew that, I mean, look at them. How the fuck are they going to know? Because this is wrong.
That is so your life path. Because you're a two. Two is all about balance. Like so you can pinpoint when people are in balance. You're like, I'm not gonna ask them. Their shit is not together. Like, I don't want they're clearly going through a mess and they're hiding it, but I can see it. And they're not hiding it that well. But like to other people, they're actually hiding it pretty well. Just you
And
are good at seeing the
as an
imbalance.
adult, as an adult, especially with this last job that fired me, um,
Mm.
do you hear my voice crack?
I
It was
did.
emotional.
There was a
But
breath even.
I know I'm breathing right here because I'm nervous. So I gotta like,
Yeah, let's breathe. We can breathe. We can take a second. We're not in any rush.
I know. I don't get to talk to people very much, so um, this feels nice
Mm.
because you don't feel like judged. Because I've always known like something's like just looking like even I remember telling my husband, like the one I had my son with, he just stare at the sky. I was always fascinated with everything other than what was down here. Like, meaning like I would look above car lines and I notice that I do it now. Like I notice that I do it now. Whereas before I just And it's like, even when I try to kill myself, like, it wasn't like, it was like, I'm just done. I'm ready to go home. Like, time. Can I get a do-over? Like, so like being 52, and I'm okay. It's my cat Odin. He's checking on me.
He
Being
even
able
said,
to,
he was like, "You good?"
yeah, I know he's my Odin. Um, even though like I'm just talking to you and I don't really even know you, just I've watched you and I've watched others, and even though it's just anonymous enough and personal enough to where I'm at this point where I can open myself up like this. And I'm just like, bleh, like, how many words have you said? You know what I mean? I'm like tripping balls right now.
That's I wish I could say that this is not normal, but that's just the thing. I don't. It's a gift that people talk to me.
I get
Um,
that too, though. I have had a man, he was in the military. He asked me, he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, because people just like, what, they just open up to you. I'm like, and what I figured out, because my analytical brain, it's just receiving people. There's no expectation. You're just there, you're sitting in front of them and you receive them.
Mhm.
You don't judge any of this shit. You look in their eyes, you hear the tones, you hear the influx. Now, hypervigilance is something that I am grateful for,
Mm,
you know? Like, that's like a sense of its own,
very much
you
so.
know?
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, my auditory, like, I I am like, I've always been super heightened in so much, you know? So it's really cool to have people that are comfortable in it enough to allow someone like me to feel comfortable in it
Mm.
and share. You know, the self-love thing is something I didn't know anything about until I'm 52, dude. Like, and I feel like I'm fucking just turned 21, and I mean, I'm not a drinker, but like let's fucking rock. Like,
It's
I
true.
speed on the freeway. Like, I have a BMW 2017 BMW 430i, and she's a
Make it
she's
up
a
and
big
go.
girl. She's a big girl, but fuck, man. I drive. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I take Apache Trail, and driving is my meditation. That's where I'm like here on Earth, and then here up there, and I'm kind of analyzing, and you know. You ever seen Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen the second one, Age of Innocence? It's a movie.
I
There's
think possibly.
Yeah, it's really you probably would have like lost interest because it's so meta. Like, it's just, even I
I've
was
just
like,
seen so much anime that I'm just like, I'm pretty sure. And then like I'll go into a hole and I'm like, that's the only thing I'm watching. And then I'm on to something else. And then I'm like, and then once I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, well, there's this one part, and it's how I've been, because I've only had myself to live in a sense, and then whatever
Mhm.
I allow in, well, now allow in. Before, I used to let everything in, but um there, in the beginning, there's like the dispatchers for District 9, and you have like the sergeant, and they're talking, and the dispatchers, they have mods, like cyborg mods, and they go to type, right, and each fingertip pops out 5 additional like metal fingers, and they start typing like super efficient fast. That's how like I envision my brain, like all the shit, like from like past lives, from everything. And it's like I encounter this trigger or this situation that makes me, and then I just hear my fucking brain going, okay, let's analyze this, let's figure it out. And that's like the alchemy. That's how I envision the alchemy that happens in my brain, because I'm at that point where I can, stand outside myself and just kind of look at it and just be like, but I still have those. Now what am able to put into words from watching people like you is, um, it's, oh, there it went. It must not have been important. The thought left. Sorry.
Sometimes you're not supposed to share it yet.
That's probably what happens.
A lot of times,
I've heard.
there, especially what I notice, like whenever it comes to this journey, as you're ascending or descending or whatever in the spiritual journey, our intellect gets in the way of it so much, analyzing and figuring it out, and let me go ahead and over it, and why, and it's like it's almost impossible to observe whenever you're also already doing a thing, which is analyzing, allowing your intellect to get in the way. So it's like, even whenever a thought comes and goes, it's like, oh, I want to share this thing, but it's like the universe will be, oh, 11:44 my time as we say this. The universe will be like, oh, you haven't comprehended it yet. So that's how it can leave you. That's how you know it's not fully a part of you or whatever.
See, and
Apparently.
that's something I'll keep in mind, so I'm not so like hard on myself.
Mm.
Like, hey, where'd it go? You know, you're hard
It's
on
just not,
yourself because all of
it's a
that
lot to,
matters.
it is. It does a lot. Because also yourself is just like a little baby. You don't gotta be, like there. It's fine. And it's also because like a lot of the even number life paths is what I notice are the ones that are hardest on themselves in a lot of ways. Like twos hard on themselves whenever it comes to like balance, and fours are hard on themselves whenever it comes to like being good at stuff. Six are hard on themselves when it comes to being like overweight. And eight are hard on themselves when it comes to making money. But either way, the point is the evenness requires like a lot of dedication and diligence and an even response. And so whenever you haven't been given that in your life, or especially early on with your nine attitude, especially having nine in your chart, there's a bit more suffering with nine energy in people's charts, to see the bigger picture. And so essentially every single day you wake up seeing the bigger picture. It's almost easier for you to see or access the suffering as well for other people, because you see the bigger picture. You're like zoomed out. You're not just like, okay, this guy's being a jerk to me. Like sometimes you're like, okay, this guy's being a jerk to me, and you figure it out later on. But it's like a very diplomatic stance that you have, like almost devil's advocate. So it's like a bit of like, okay, I can see it from this way, I could see it from this way. But things can be a bit more black and white for you. You're allowed to do that. As opposed to living in the gray and like searching the unity so much. um really allowing yourself to see the dichotomy of it, which is like, yeah, sometimes like for me, I love to plan, I love to have like my stuff written down and all of that, but I'm also a space cadet, so sometimes I will totally just like forget that I even planned. So it's like I have to give myself grace that, sometimes the stars just say you're daydreaming about something else. And
Yeah.
two is about grace and partnership heavily. And so the two life path doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're just automatically great at it. It's like you're learning the lesson to give yourself grace and to be thankful for what all the stuff that you have. Even when you say, I'm always looking up above the cars and like at the sky, your name is Celeste.
I know. It's in the stars. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's true. There's a reason why, like there's lots of things that are given to us. My name is Miriam, and it means a lot of different things, and a lot of different, depending on who's reading it. I'm either the Virgin Mary in some places. I'm the daughter of the sea in some places. It depends on, but I'm
I
many
love it.
things.
And you're a Pisces, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
I
and
love I
so
love astrology.
it's so fun. It really is. We can dive into it, especially because you are an Aquarius, right?
Aquarius, Sun, Scorpio, Moon.
Mhm.
That's my little slots are fierce. And then Capricorn ascending.
Okay.
That's
Mm.
just a little.
That's all right next to each other, isn't it? Just like, ooh. There's like a little skip. There's like a Sagittarius in there
The
between the.
Sagittarius
Okay.
is my North Node.
And you got a lot of that last bit of the world, like last end of the year going into the first of the year energy, but still very winter.
What's that? What do you mean by that? What's that mean?
Um, Winter is introspective.
Oh,
So a lot of times when winter, we're kind of forced to go inside. We're not moving as much. There are things that happen, like back way in the day. The winter time was a hard time, and sometimes we lose cattle and family and all these other things. And so we kind of have to lean on our faith to not even understand why, but to still get through the hard times. So people who are born during those times and people who are still like a lot of those signs are very much trying to understand the philosophy, the taboo, the darkness, the winter, and the winter of our souls too, because we have winters in our energy. So
oh yeah, for
mm.
sure, for sure. I don't know. I feel more awake than ever, and it changes with intensity. It's always better every day, but it the ebb and flow, the fluctuation, and is like moment to moment. It's minute to minute. It's yeah. It's a practice.
Mm.
Just
Well, the ripples go different ways. Like you jumped into the lake and there's some splashes, and now you're waiting for but there's still waves. But you're figuring it out. Like it's also your day number is an 8, and you said that you got fired. Um,
oof.
Now more than ever, it is so important for people, especially with Aquarius energy, to be doing the jobs that are out of the ordinary that they're called to do. And you have a Capricorn ascendant, like with this, I mean, I'm just saying, like you got fired because the universe is like, you are doing the wrong job. I didn't hire you for that. I didn't hire you for that. I did not hire you for that. Do your job, whatever it is, whatever weird
I,
thing that it may be.
I know. I don't know that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Probably the weirder the better. And then
Should I
having
do
people around
should I
you,
do foot uh should I do pictures?
might
Dude,
as
when you
well.
talked about feet the other day, I about fell off this little ass couch because that's like I have a very dark humor and I'm highly sexual, but I don't know. It's just hey, we're all sexual. And
Yes.
I embrace it a little bit more than others and it people know how to take it. And yeah, I about fell off the couch because that's like my first thing. Like, so what can we do to like to be in like to not have to come to a job? I'm like, we could sell pictures of our feet. Only stands for feet, and it would always be feet, feet, feet. So when you said feet, I'm like, this bitch. Is she in my fucking head? And then the other time you brought up anime, and I'm like, and then you do these like little quirky things, and I know that we're drawn to have this moment because we're obviously connected, but we're marrying each other for a very specific reason that is going to help us,
Mm.
in some beautiful way. And that's what's helping me embrace this, like I love it. I love it. I feel happy.
Good, good. I mean, and also like with your life path in particular, planning and all of that stuff isn't really for your destiny or like for your life path. Essentially, like you'll have a goal or a desire, but it's a little bit harder for you to stick to those things because it's just like if it isn't balanced, you're like, I'm not sticking around. I don't like the drama. I'm tired of being peacemaker all the time. Especially when people don't listen. But when it comes
That
to
and I
like
don't
your
want my
gifting,
energy sucked.
they will suck it. They that is a big part of it. They especially twos, like the people will very much like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much for twos.
But I've learned now to not. I've learned to see that now, and that's why ended up getting fired from my job because
Mm.
I said no, and I
Yeah,
and I saw what they were doing,
and they
and
hated
I
that
said, well, hell
boundary.
to the no.
You're like, well, an extra no. Because yeah, no,
Right.
it's like, but having people around you who can see the things that ground you essentially, see the things that make you happy. and keep you on those goals, even whenever it's like, you know what, I don't feel like doing it. That's okay. Just do the other side of it. Do the side that isn't the go, go, go part. Do the chill, chill, chill part. Um, and people who get that and aren't going to be like making you feel like crap because you're like in a still moment, because it really is can be like seasons where it's like I'm fully on and now I'm fully off, and it's not just like for a little bit of time. It might be like half and half of the year, honestly, is what I've noticed a lot with 2 years. Is like sometimes it's like they have to learn how to divide their days half and half with work and chill, otherwise it catches up to you and then you are stuck being in chill.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah, heavily, heavily.
Hmm.
Especially for you, especially for you.
Yeah, I'm learning,
It's
trying.
little by little. I mean, it's also balance is in the moment. Whenever I was doing balance beam or doing a tight, I never did tightrope, but like I imagine on tightrope, you got to be in the moment of whatever step you're in right now, and that's exactly two energy. Like whenever you're like, I'm just accepting, very two energy. You're very much in your life path. You're very much moving into your like, okay, I'm good. I'm settled. I've learned my lessons. Now give me my
Yeah,
reward.
I hope so.
It's coming. But also, you said last year, before we started, that last year was a very karmic year for you. This is a 9 year for you,
Ooh.
which means last year was an 8 year for you. Eight is the karmic number.
Oh,
And it's like, it is guardian angel, it is all those things, but it is very much like, hey, you planted these seeds 8 years ago. Now here's all the rewards of all the energy that you kept putting in over time. And that's really the it's always nice to hear people talk about it, because I'm just like, ah, look at that. Look at the numbers doing what they're doing. Because those tend to be a little bit more accurate than even like other zodiac stuff. Like numerology
oh
is
no,
what I found the most accurate. Oh, 1 second. My dog is
oh,
down there just whining and groaning.
oh, why? Oh,
He
he wants
just
to come
does
up
that.
with them.
He could.
Oh,
He has this thing like to go up the stairs. He has to do it in just he has like OCD or something, and so he has to step up just the right way. And if he can't, he's just crying at the bottom of the stairs, and like he'll be like, "Ugh," like he won't even lift up a paw because his
oh.
he want yeah, and he'll just randomly do it out of nowhere. And sometimes he's like running up the stairs and acting crazy, and so I'm like, hey, you don't got to come upstairs. There's nothing up here upstairs. All his stuff is downstairs right now. But he wants to
Dude,
be with me.
I reason with my cats like that. Like, come on, no,
Okay.
no. You know, I just talk to him. You know,
Yeah.
who wants to be yelled at?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, you're good. You got this. You can do this. But he's in a licking phase right now
Ooh,
where he's like licking his fur. He had some stuff go on with like an
oh,
abscess. And so he's now
oh,
licking the area. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's allowed to now. It's safe, but it's still like he's doing it because he hasn't been allowed to for so long. Like, because this is not, you can't do anything. It's always like, yes, my shoulders. And I'm just like, I can't hear your noises. I can't do
so
it.
are
I'm
you
going to leave you
auditorily
alone.
sensitive?
Oh, yes. I'm sensitive in all the ways that you can be sensitive.
I mean, okay, so you get it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even share it that much with people. How like everything, like, but I'm learning how to like I'm understanding it more and more, and it's not controlling it, but just allowing it to just breathe and exist and not be aware of it. Because the more aware I am of my idiosyncrasies, the more everyone else is going to be aware of it. So I like practice like, all right, Celeste, you're probably going to see beautiful people when you go in Home Depot. Just be kind and smile. Just be bright. Just be yourself. I do these pep talks because I get so nervous going in those places. I go,
Mhm.
and it's weird because it's like I feel people are, it's always been this way. I feel like people are staring at me, and it's not, it's just I'm so aware of myself, and it's not that bad anymore, but it's just, but I'm looking too. That's how I know they're looking, because I'm looking. It's like, I don't know. I feel
And you'll
so
get
socially, like I'm learning how to integrate in my
you'll
current self.
you're also, because you're sensitive and when you're looking around, sometimes you're looking at the people who are about to look at you. But also you're like, when I notice my idiosyncrasies and people are gonna know, I'm like, you're literally an Aquarius. That's the whole point. You're supposed to be different.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah. And even with your job, it's gonna be weird. People are gonna be like, what is she doing? She's doing what? She's looking up at the stars above people's heads whenever they talk to them and giving them a reading based off of that because it's Celeste or something. I don't know. But that's
Actually,
your
the
thing.
people that I have in my little tiny circle right now would actually be like, well, of course, like, yeah. Because it's only like my sister, I've that's been a journey, but I'm understanding that whole relationship now, which I'm so grateful for. It's evolving and maturing, and that's a whole other thing. Um, yeah, and there goes the thought again. I hate that.
Well, you said it's growing and maturing right now, so they're just like, not yet. You don't get to share it yet. Especially because a lot of times what I notice with two energy, it's like we're not allowed to plan into energy, essentially, is what they say. Or not they. That's what I say. That's what I have determined. They're like, hey, ask somebody else first before you share things. But a lot of it will be a more like planning too much will then lead to not having two paths. And you're supposed to have two paths at all times. And if you're like, no, this is it. You're like, no, I have an out too. I have both directions, essentially. If that makes
Yeah,
any
and
sense at all.
it does, because there's a delicate balance of having intention and being controlling over that intention. It has to kind of like sit and float like a cloud. You can't anchor really in that, because it's because of the free will, especially if it involves other people and other people's decisions to manifest what you want. It's a Yeah.
And also, like, there's a lot of like what I like to describe too as in the seed planting of the plant process is waiting for the seed to sprout, and the seed is under the dirt, but you're like, is the seed still there? Is it even alive? Is it even doing anything? Let me just dig it up.
Mm.
Let me just look. Let me. And you're gonna kill the seed. Leave the seed alone. Like if you don't let this step happen, then you're not gonna have a plant at all. But it does feel like, okay, let me just I let it I already set it in motion. So now I just gotta let it be. And so what I like to say a little bit, like especially with life path numbers, is like it's a certain consciousness in a 9 life path journey, one through 9, essentially. In the same way that I have 1 through 9 day weeks. So there's the 1 day and all of that. So there's a 1 of you, and there's a 2 of you, and there's a 9 of you, and there's like of all of that, of this specific consciousness to learn the lessons of
Oh,
whatever
I
other
see what you're
things,
saying. Okay.
yeah, beyond just the 2 life path, the other things on top of it, essentially. And it could be according to generation. A lot of times, it could be that. And that would be a 2 for you as well. So it's like you're almost like a 2 in the lesson of 2.
I'm like the generational curse breaker or something.
Mhm. And it's about lack of balance. So it's a really
Oh,
big one. And 2, it's a dramatic number because it is like it's black or white. It's 0 to 60. It's good or evil. And it's like when there is no balance, like in the past, and now like you're being brought into the world to essentially find those balances. And so when that's your generation and your life path, like you're saying, I meant what I said, I'm going to figure out how to balance this stuff out. But that also means like, okay, you want to learn balance? Well, then go ahead and get like, first of all, we're going to give you like an inner ear infection. And also there's always going to be earthquakes, and and you're only got 2 inches of room to walk, and here's some stilettos. Get going, balance girl. And so like learn your lessons.
Mm-hmm. For
And then
real.
also still make sure that you look good while doing it and that everybody else is happy. And so a lot of these things like tend to become like stuff you identify with because like this is my job, I have to do it. And like it really is just like the love yourself part.
Yeah, loving yourself is what
It's
I was
hard.
missing.
It's hard.
Well, because we're not taught that.
Well, the thing is too, it's almost like this it's almost like we're constantly taught it so much that we can't hear it anymore. Because all they say, look, you got to love yourself before anybody can love you. Love yourself. Love. All you need is love. Love, love, love is the answer. The fire is love, love, and love, and love. But it's always like with other things. But also love, but don't have too much sex. Love, but also be this type of person to get love. Love, but also I'm annoyed with you right now. And like, our relationships with love have been messed up since whatever thing happened to us as a kid that caused us to have messed up love. And so we're then navigating based off of this false love that isn't the true, unconditional, sacred flame, kundalini, all the things that we have within ourselves. Because it's
But
like
I knew
just
there
this
was
little
more.
baby. There's more. Because there's like a little pinprick of light, and you're like, hey, what is that? Now you got to go in there and just dig at that pinprick until, but you got to
If
go in, you
Disney
have to
says I
go,
can meet a prince, I'm gonna meet a prince.
you can, absolutely. And a lot of times it's a destiny thing too. A lot of times
Yeah.
it like especially for two energy, it's like, and here's your partner. And sometimes it's somebody who's been like kind of like around and like kind of just so missing and it just has to line up just the right way because you'll have to meet at the exact time that y'all are supposed to meet. Y'all are supposed to meet other people and have the bad relationships and have the weird conversations and have the loves first and then find each other. Um yeah, so whenever you do find your perfect prince, yeah, he's gonna be sharing his story, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, ooh, but wait."
Dude, if anybody that's known me in the past sees this, they're gonna fucking die. Because I'm not. I don't come across. I didn't know I was really romantic. Like I'm not a rom-com person. I'm not like a romance novel. I'm more the dark side of what people would assume is the dark side of sexuality. I don't know, but back here in my dreams and when I'm daydreaming, the real me was like, oh, I'm always this little glossy-eyed little about to cry with love, and I love that about me now, and I
Mhm.
wear it proudly.
Okay,
So yes, I love Disney movies.
good. They're good for us. They're good for our heart. They make us
The
happy. There's
morals.
yes, and it's like I like to feel good. Let's just feel good. Let's not be all the other things. Who cares about
He
all
had
the
a
other
wicked
stuff?
stepmom too.
Mhm. That comes from somewhere. A lot of people have wicked stepmothers. Stepmothers are often very wicked, and I'm like, oh. And when a feminine energy is wicked, it is so much
Ooh.
more powerful because it is like that's you're supposed to be my mom. You're supposed to be safe and you're supposed to be pure and you're supposed to be warm. And now I went into that thinking that's what I was gonna get. And now so those shattered relationships can be very difficult to build back with feminine energy, even within yourself. You're like, I don't want that mom.
Absolutely.
I don't trust no mothers.
It's fuck. Yeah. I want my son to trust me though. I just trust in that I will always do the right thing no matter in what decision that my mom's gonna know what to do. Like never to worry about me because I know that there's a period and he still is worrying about me, because in his mind I'm not in a place where he feels or thinks I deserve to be or wants me to be or you know so I can feel the frustration in him and our connection. But yeah, I'm just figuring me out. Like when I say me now, I do it in caps because
Yeah,
I'm talking about me a lot.
as you should. You're the main character. You have to pay attention to yourself in order to do it. I don't know if you whenever I talk about me is and e, and that's the connection of the root chakra or like sacral chakra to
Look at
your
you.
up here. So like we're
God,
trying to connect.
we are connecting.
hmm We are connecting. Yeah, we're not trying. We're doing. It is connected. Sometimes when I
Connected.
plug in a toaster, though, I still get a little shock.
Fuck wiring electricity. We got to get that Tesla shit up where it's all just,
Through
there's
the
a whole new
air and
world.
whatnot. Yes, fix it up. And that's what we're doing. That's like what a lot of this elevation stuff
That's
is
the purpose
for.
of all this is getting shit
hmm
where it needs to be, not
Yeah.
this. Like,
And if we aren't at the point where we are, and like truly, if we aren't spiritually elevated enough, or then we can't get access to the sciences because it's
it,
dangerous.
it's purity of heart. It's strength and conviction. That's what I would tell like people, like, you know, stand in your truth, man. No one, people are going to fucking look and listen. When you stand, there's nothing like standing in truth, nothing in standing in like, when you can't stand in someone else's truth. Like, how do you do that? That's probably why I can't work for people. I'm just kidding. I can. I just have to believe in it.
Yeah.
You
But
know
even as
what
you're saying, you're like, I tell people, stand in their truth. Like, what the heck? Are you standing in your truth?
I mean? I'm trying.
But
It's
it's
a
also
struggle.
that's part of it. It is, especially for you because you're an Aquarius and you're a 2. Aquarius is all about truth, but it's also the point of your life path is to learn these things. So it's like
Give me
honestly, you
advice.
probably lie to yourself. Yeah, quit lying to yourself. So there's already a few lies that I've heard you tell yourself, even just from here. Like
What was that?
something I can't remember the exact words, but something like, "Oh, I'm so blah blah blah," or like, "Oh, I can't this or whatever." But I mean, you do go and correct yourself. But then like saying, I'm so this, I'm so whatever." I made it threw it away because it was just some nonsense that your ego was saying. So I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be done with that soon. But, just
I
those quick
know.
little they're blurbs, it's easy for us to say. Even I still am like, "Oh, I'm crazy." But I'm like, "Yeah, but I am crazy." And, like, I am gonna do some crazy shit. Like, people are gonna be so confused, like, "How did you even?" Yeah, how did I even? Because I do some crazy
Hmm.
shit.
I know. And it's just like you just smile. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
you've seen Legally Blonde.
Yes.
You know how Elle Woods was just like
She says it
when
in all
someone was rude
caps
to her,
too.
she was like, okay, just walk away. That's how I kind of got.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just kind of
Yeah.
walk away, like, okay, noted. I'm just in my head, noted. Okay, like I saw through all of that. I saw what you really meant.
Yeah, and they're like, "Ooh, that was awkward." Because then that those people go home and they regret that conversation, and they're like, "Oh, I said the wrong thing," or even if they felt like they said the right thing, they're saying it again and again and again and again, or saying it in a different way in their arguments and their maladaptive daydreams, and we know that because we've been there, because we do those things, and so it's like,
Yep,
and that's why you can see so much in people is because you have done the work on yourself, as they
exactly. It's not.
say, you. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can meet
identify
people
it
where you meet yourself and all that stuff. And but you're identifying. You're doing those things. But also you're gonna start standing in your truth more and being the little
setting my
weirdo that
dreams
you
more.
are. Yeah.
How okay, I think I have to learn a more a better practice for bedtime so I can remember my dreams. Or or did you say dream more? Or should I remember my dreams more? Or did you not say that at all?
I didn't say that at all. I said to stand in your
Oh
truth
fuck.
more. But
Stand in
you
my
said dream
truth.
more. Yeah. But you said dream more for a reason. You heard that for a reason. So and you're like, I do need to be able to remember my dreams. Astral projection is the main thing because dreams are cool, but they're not really like there for us. Like being able to see your dream and be aware in the dream of like what the pattern is. Dreams are like the cycles that we're going through and the stuff that is on our mind. And then once those clear up, then you're able to astral project and learn from like yogis like from long ago, essentially, and
That's
sit
what
down in a classroom and meet people like you and I could meet in a space and be like, hey, let's go to this space on this day, and then we go to
that's what
sleep
I
and meet in the astral.
oh,
Um,
I want to do that.
it is something that it's a lot of it comes through the data in the daytime. Whenever we're doing stuff according to our truth, according to our truest selves, then there's nothing left for our brain to. If there's no trash for the brain to work through. There's no extra stuff to divvy through because you're not adding anything to your plate. So like in each moment, when somebody said like even like you're, oh, I noticed that you're doing that thing, you don't say anything. You let people lie to you, and sometimes you're like, hey, I know you're lying to me, and then move on. But that would even make you feel better about it and let go of the thought sooner. So then you can have a clear mind. They say, clear your mind and meditate. The way you clear your mind is by not putting anything in your mind, essentially. No more guilt, no more whatever. All the many laws of meditation that you have to do to lead up to it. And it's all while you're awake. It's all while right now in this moment. How present are you? Are you how did you get here into this conversation? What is your name? What time is it? Or can you fly? Let's try and fly. Like, nope, I can't fly. I tried, but I'm still here. And those little practices, eventually you start asking yourself in your dream, can I fly? And then you do. And so I highly recommend people to Astral Doorway and Glory in because those are like really good teachers of Astral Doorway is all about astral projection. I didn't realize that I had been astral projecting my whole life, but I was doing it to escape the dreams. I was so scared of my dreams because of the things that happened to me. So I then became the controller. I would change the channel. And I didn't realize that that was the first thing of me realizing I'm in a dream. So and then it grew. And then as soon as I was like, oh, let me learn to astral project, that ability went away for years because I was trying to learn to astral project. Once I was actively like, okay, I'm gonna astral project tonight, and then every effort was that, then I couldn't actually let it happen because I was so hell bent on making sure that I learned something. And then once I started just letting it go and being like, it is what it is, because there was no more things on my mind. It's like whatever
That's
we're ruminating on. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is to not think too much on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's set your intention, and then yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That kid me, like my kid brain wasn't like, let me astral project. It was like, hey, just don't dream that. Hey, just don't have all the nightmares. Can we not have those?
I
And
have
then other stuff happened.
I've had some like I've I remember dreams from when I was young. I remember like, well, not all of them, but like particular one where it, I remember just continued night
Mm,
after night after night. I remember dreaming about the dream older several times. I keep thinking about that cycle of dream. I'm even talking about it now because I know it means something.
mm,
And um, I have vivid dreams. I've had where you smell like I've had the smell of burnt flesh from a plane crash. But I was in like a behavioral health center. It was like a rehab, but
mm,
um, I've had dreams where I swear I've flown to another planet, like the darkness of space.
oh yeah.
And that was recently. Um, I've been to area, and I would say Earth, but you know, there's I'm going to say alien, but there's war, and but there's not, and then it's so bizarre, and so I'm really interested about the different like dream states and what truly, because in my dreams I know I'm dreaming,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, where's, like, I'm literally like, oh, okay, where am I? Okay, Earth is, I can't even see Earth anymore. Where the fuck are we? Like I remember the space one very clearly.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, and
I bet I can describe your dream. It's for the space thing too. Because
go.
like a lot of times it looks as, or at least a visual. So you come up out of the earth and like it really does seem like just very easy to like planet hop. Like all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden you're just like, ooh, and now you're at a new space. Which world did you go to? Do you know? Not necessarily the planet, but what did the terrain look like?
The only thing I remember, it was moonish ish. And I remember it wasn't like you walked on a land, you went inside something like the planet, and there was like this wraparound window that was like a circumference, but I was clearly in a room, but it was a planet, but I don't know. And it was like you see all of space and you're just in there with other like beings, which I
Mm.
didn't, they were there, but it was more like, where am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, yeah, it's a trip. It was a trip.
Yeah, you're on the start. You're just on the start of your astral projection stuff. There's beings that you can connect to and all that stuff, and yeah, planet hopping, and eventually like it gets to the point where you can understand like the resonance of where you're at or like what people you're meeting with or whatever. But sometimes we just kind of go places. Sometimes we just kind of go and but it might be your specific like what you connect to most, what you're always looking up for, like to find in the planets, essentially. My dog shouting downstairs. My brother just got home.
Aww.
And he's happy to see him. But yeah,
You said your
it is.
husband?
No, my brother.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. He brought his
Because
dog.
you're in a relationship, but you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're not married. I remember
Never
your
been
stuff.
married. Yeah. Never been married.
I don't, unless, see, I mean, I get it now, the divinity of it. Whereas before, I didn't get it because of what I saw, the
Mm,
bastardization and the. I remember
mm,
being in my 20s and looking at divorce signs,
mm,
like when the big billboards, because I'm older, the billboards in LA and, fast divorce. And I would just look at it and be like, me being divorced. I'm not divorced yet, but I should be. But just thinking, fuck, man. It's like, I'm glad I didn't get married in a church because what a sham. It's supposed to be for life, you know? I mean, my biological mom left my dad, who was a devout Catholic, when I was 9 months old
mm.
for fun. You know what I mean? For
Oh,
not, I don't want to say fun. She was in her trauma. She was,
yeah.
you know,
He's like, I'm gonna go be me.
I'm going to go like do drugs and have fun,
Hmm.
deuce, you know? So, aw, do you need to go get him?
No, my brother's
Oh, okay.
antagonizing him. He's vocal.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm just thankful that we're talking. It
Yeah.
feels nice. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for even talking with me. It's been really nice. It's been like it's nice to see like I guess like for me, because that's the point, like the synchronicity sagas or whatever. Like, of course you see I'm sweating. Proof. I
Uh-huh.
sweat. I'm not lying.
Hey,
um
it's okay. I wouldn't
oh I
put
sweat.
Botox
I
in my
mean,
body either.
no, I'm over it. I'm like, I'm just a sweaty gal. And also I noticed that I only sweat when I'm reading. And that's what it was like all the time. Whenever I was a teenager, I was sweating because I was reading the people in my life. And there were so many people just being teenagers, not being true to themselves. And of course, because even I wasn't. And even now, I still am not as true to myself as I could be. But it was still very much like, I'm reading. I know I'm creating water now. And now I don't feel self conscious about it. As soon as a drip happens, I'm like, oh, tuned in.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I notice all that stuff on people. And it's not because there's no malintent. It's
It's
just,
just
well,
you're
not
observing.
anymore. But I like it. It's so cool. You just get to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah. It's psychology, especially like whenever you're like, oh, okay. It also helps you understand yourself even more too. Because a big reason, like, I remember there was one time, this is gonna be a random story, but like I was cuddling with a boyfriend at the time, but I was being big spoon, and so I had my arm around his tummy, and all of a sudden I'm like, are you gonna fart? Are you trying to fart? And he's like, how do you know that? And it's just
'Cause you can
because
feel
I
it.
know what it feels. Yeah, I know what it feels like whenever I'm pushing on my tummy, whenever I'm trying to
You feel
fart,
the shit
and you're
clench.
pushing on your tummy. I'm feeling you clench your tummy. And I'm
And
like,
he's like,
and you're like, oh, you're psychic. I'm like, no, idiot. Quit, don't fart on me. But he's trying to fart on me. But yeah, it's still this. I'm like,
no,
but
I'm
it was always this
hypervigilant.
thing. Yeah, I'm just very aware of everything that's going on at all times. And so that it's a gift that you're given whenever there's like a lot of weird stuff that goes on in your life, but also it is something that can, especially for you because you're an air sign, get lost in your thoughts. The rumination is strong in this one. Air signs are the air energy, and mental mind thoughts is air. So your air sign, it's also electricity, specifically for Aquarius. I mean, it says it. People say that that's water right there. That's electricity. They can say whatever they want. They can, yes, it's a water bear or
I
whatever, but
love that.
that's
I'm going to
electricity.
say that now.
It's an air
Hey,
sign,
water.
and it's not. You're like it could be. Yeah, you happen to water, but like water is like even having a liquid jar of something or a jar of liquid. A lot of times is a battery, especially back then. Like you would put liquid in there to then energize things. And so having some type of selenic or whatever compound to have a battery. And so, granted, our energies, our emotions, our water is what fuels us. That is a lot of energy. That is the things. But being able to see it from outside, water is also highly conductive anyway. So of course,
It
the
is.
Aquarius, yes, electric sign needs to have a little bit of water and sprinkle it over there so then I can make sure my electricity gets you a little harder. And
Conductor.
so and also it's your weirdness, it's your quirkiness, it's your whatever it is that you're probably most afraid to show people is the thing that's going to be the thing that's why you chose those traits. Like your soul chose these traits, this person, all this stuff because of all the beautiful things that they saw it as. And like then the world happens and makes you forget all that stuff. But like your soul was like literally like, oh, this perfect, oh, perfect. Oh, and I've been in this. Oh, I can't wait to freaking play this character. I'm so, and then you're here like, I hate it. Why am I like this?
Why don't I fit in?
Why am I so different? And they're like, oh, look how different they are. They're not like anybody else. And you're like, I'm so alone. And they're like so happy.
Yeah. Now I think it's kind of cool, but it's and break the the old paradigm is almost gone of
Yeah.
feeling that it's a lack, being
Yeah.
different. It's not. There's this person that I watched this morning on YouTube, and he said something, and I wrote it down because it made me laugh. He wrote, he was doing a tarot reading. Obviously, I love him, but he
Uh-huh.
goes, he was like, it's like you become the struggle of the struggle that makes me struggle. Like I become the struggle of the struggle that makes me struggle. I was like, that's
Mhm.
fucking amazing. I love that.
But it's
Because it's
true.
alchemy. You're gonna figure it out and then
Mhm.
done.
Yep.
Next.
Yep. And moving on. Next one.
I'm an overachiever, by the way.
I'm sure you are a perfectionist to the core. It needs to be
Yeah.
perfect balance. Balance, 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 balance. Otherwise, otherwise, I'm not perfect and I don't deserve it.
Oh, hey.
Very much even energy. Even energy is the meanest energy. to themselves. Like very much like if I'm not perfect, I'm not worth it. I don't and like it is about being consistent more than it is about being perfect. And you're
It,
doing
it
all that stuff.
I've learned, I'm learning, and it's just getting better, and this is like my sister, she's probably going to cry if she doesn't know what I'm doing right now, but, because this is not me. I'm like, I was like the nerd and you know, this is going to be so cool. I'm so thank,
Look
I'm
at
so thank,
you. And you're so
I'm so,
open. You're thinking out
I'm so
loud.
thankful. Well, because I'm tired of hiding.
Mhm.
I'm tired. Like, I matter. I have
Yeah.
important shit. I have important
Yes.
feelings, and I want to help people. That's all
Mm.
it is. I just want people to smile and know that it's gonna, like, dude,
It's gonna be okay.
it's
And the world needs
okay.
people like you. Yeah, you really like the world needs people like you, especially right now, because like everybody's like, oh, and then this and the news and then that and then this and like you're gonna be like, hey, it's a little weird right now, and it's gonna be a little weird to make it weirder, but we're gonna be good. It's always gonna come back to a balance. It always does, because that's just how it works. Like that's just once things stop splashing around and things just chill out. After you just gotta let time pass, and that's what your life path reminds people of too. That energy that you naturally evoke, because that's an essence that you bring with you. People are probably like more open to hear your diplomacy than other people when you choose to say something, because sometimes you're just very much like, I don't want to even be involved, so I'm just gonna let it be. But sometimes
Because
whenever you're like, yeah,
go ahead.
you can tell. No, yeah, you can tell when people are just like just choosing to be an ass, honestly. And you're like, they're stuck in their ego. But you know
See,
when
and
it's the
I
right way.
repel from people like that sometimes.
Yeah.
When you just know, like, you're gonna, like, all that's gonna kill you.
There's
All
a lot
that
of
energy,
disease.
all that ick, that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
fucking kill you. And I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna let you know that I fucking see you.
Yeah. And
And
letting
you're
people
never
know
gonna get
is the
away with
best
it with
part.
me.
It's nice when you actually don't let people get away with it. That's your job. You're like,
That's why I
hey,
got fired.
well, good. You weren't supposed to be there.
I
Your
wasn't.
energy, like they don't want that. They don't want somebody pointing out the imbalances whenever they're doing stuff wrong. They want to keep doing the wrong stuff. And that's for them to deal with. You're not dealing with none of that karma or that BS.
Mm-mm.
You're like, no, if you don't want to fix the balance, then I will then bye. Please fire me.
Yeah. I asked for it. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it can
I
feel
just
like you're
always hoped that people would take the
self-sabotaging.
high road. I'm sorry, say again?
I feel like sometimes you feel like you're self-sabotaging.
Because I have the tendency to overthink.
Uh,
So, oh, I see what you're saying. Like, oh, I have to be careful with what I put out there.
in general.
This is really fucking strong.
And it's also like not even what you put out there. It's like literally how you think. Because
It
internal mantras are so much stronger than even what
it
we say out loud.
is,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone, like, people will say, like, you saw it coming. You saw it coming. I'm thinking, well, because I said these motherfuckers are gonna have to fucking fire me. Because hell no.
Yeah. Straight up.
Like, because no, I'm gonna make you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make you. And he still couldn't man up and do it. It was the owner.
Mm-hmm. And then his pride and ego's in the way, and that's fine. That's on him. That's his journey, and he's gonna lose sleep over it and all that stuff. And you're like, and
Did I?
you'll still lose some sleep because during the time while you were there are still times where you feel like you weren't all the way true to yourself. Because I mean, either way, you weren't. You were working a regular schmegular job. You were not supposed to do that. Granted, sometimes we have to do it to make money because that's just what we're doing. But finding a place that can be a little bit more like where you can be your quirky self, your weird self, or whatever out loud self that you are, be that like, and find a spot that embraces that and wants you to be louder about it. And it's like, yay, here's a microphone. So you can be, so you don't have to strain your voice while being loud about it.
Yeah, because it's only ever it doesn't seem like that now, but I choose my words wisely, especially in a work environment. Like,
Mm.
you know, because I know you can't take words back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Mhm.
I'm very careful with that whole thing. And I went and I had an interview. I didn't get the job. It's okay. Um, it was my first interview, like a non-friend interview.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, am I gonna wear my little normal formal like button up little blazer, or am I gonna fucking just try me? And I tried me. And I got runner up. Took them 6 days to decide between one and another, me and another person. And I remember they were like, my sister was like, oh, bummer. Or another woman that I talked to, her name is Chris. She was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, 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 no. I go, dude, that was my first interview showing up as me with probably someone a lot younger than me. Fucking, I haven't been on a formal interview since like 20 fucking 13.
Mhm.
And I'm second up. Are you fucking kidding me? And they're going to keep my name on file, even if that's blown up my ass. I don't care. It was, I'm fucking now. Okay. So if I went there that way, like if I come this way, this next time for this next position or whatever I'm going to do,
Mhm.
it's a shoe in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of alchemy, right?
It is.
Flipping it.
Of course. Just,
It's not denial.
it's
I
not,
don't think
because
it's
it's really,
denial. I think it's just really,
it's not.
I'm seeing the situation. I knew that they struggled. I knew I connected with them. I know I'm older. I know I'm an acquired taste. Um, so I can only imagine, because when I responded back to them and thanked them for letting me know, I was like, congratulations, dude.
Yeah, that you found a good fit, like your perfect fit. But it's
Yeah.
also that the growth mindset. That's not being in denial. It's more of like, this was like, because when you take the wins where they are, because it's true. Like I was like you, I'm sure there are still things that were attached to it a little bit, like, will they like me? As opposed to like, they gonna like me. But that even then, just like, I'm willing to bet on myself and put it out there because they will like you. Like, they're not going to be, most people are usually pretty pleasant and they usually do like you. It's just that, when you grow up with so many people disliking you and you don't know that many people, it makes you think that that's the whole world. But it's really just like a small group of people who don't want you to like either shine a light on them or outshine them or something in some way. So it's weird. It's so then you're here and people are like, yes, I want you to be amazing because I want to hire you. And so you're still like being like,
And
wait, should I have a small light? Should I have a little baby light? And they're like, no, light up everything, light up the whole ocean. Please be a lighthouse.
and I even in the closing, in the goodbye email, or thank you for letting me know email, I even said, like something. See, my freaking thoughts. They're gone. The thought's gone. Maybe it's menopause. I don't know.
It could be. Hormones are crazy. Like they really do be change, like, so especially with menopause, like since our ovaries and stuff stop making those sex hormones, our adrenal glands start making them instead. So instead, we just start getting stressed the fuck out and our brain gets a little scattered. But also, sometimes you're just not supposed to say it. And
Yep.
also, it's a meditation thing. It's still so much to do with like how much we are able to let go of. Like if there's no other thoughts there, then no other thought can push it away, or the thought of losing the thought will cause us to lose the thought. But it's still like a lot easier said than done because we, especially like our biological brains, like just are connected way more because they have to. Because even the hypervigilance aspects, yeah, we can be abused and get all that fun stuff, but also like as the female, we have to be like protecting the spawn or whatever. So our brains are like, okay, but I have to do this, but think about this and also that and connect all these things. And sometimes like our egos use that to their advantage. And so then even being like, so you lost a thought and then you're mean to yourself when you lose the thought.
We talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Being kinder.
Don't be,
right.
yeah, be kind to yourself. Yeah, don't, because if a little kid doesn't remember, you're not gonna be like, how dare you not remember? You lost a thought? What the heck, man? Train of thought. Nobody loses that train. This is a you thing only.
You have one job.
You have one train and one job, and you ruined everything.
But there are parents like that.
Yeah, and sometimes we're still that parent to ourselves.
Touche. I'm getting there.
Yeah, slowly. Because it's like when we know better, we do better. That's all.
And once you know self-love, you can't, it's hard to really unknow it. Once you get to like a point where, even where I was a year ago, once you start knowing and uncovering and realizing and the whole matrix thing, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, they say it's like putting on a
Everything fell
pair
into
of
line.
glasses that you can't take off. You're like, okay, well, now I see the picture. Like, even if I take my glasses off, I still know that that thing is over there, like, because I saw it beforehand. And it's just like, and the thing is, too, it's like we can still, like, fall super deep. Like, any of us can just still fall super deep into the other direction. But it's also, even if we were to do it, we would still have more awareness during that darkness to then elevate even further. Sometimes people are kind of forced into it because they haven't done the dark work on their own already, because they're just like, let me just elevate only. So like like some, psychedelics are really good for some people, but sometimes psychedelics is like that's all you're doing is going up, 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 and then like you haven't done the shadow work all the way. It's too quick, or it's like the growing pains are too big for your cup, like you haven't grown your cup. Okay, I'm making too many analogies now.
What are you trying to say?
I'm all over the place. You got a tiny cup.
I'm in stark contrast to you.
I'm gonna just ramble on until I'm like, what am I talking about again? But also that's part of it. Like you'll start to ramble. But also the reason why you get all the time is because 2 is about destiny. If you are supposed to say something, you will say it. If you are supposed to do something, you will do it. And even in your failures, your growth, your passing and failing, or the beautiful and the ugly and all the everything, it's like literally the destiny of the life path. So it's like, man, that was supposed to happen. And this is a lesson. And like that's really whole life path.
It's good to know that's my path, and let's just carry on accordingly.
Yeah, so if your freak flag is flying, it's because it's destined to.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just put me on a flag.
Fully.
On a pole.
Yes. Swirl her around.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't even know.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Is there anything before we hop off, or any questions or anything you want to ask me, or any numbers specifically you want me to ask about?
Dude,
I didn't even talk about numbers with you. I mean, I kind of did with
it's
your
okay.
life.
This was awesome, and just, I don't know. Just thank you.
Yeah, of course. Am I hearing little birds over there? Are little birds chirping?
There's birds I love birds. Yeah, they come in the little trees right here. I love birds.
I love birds too. I was like, oh,
And they love me.
Cheep, 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 cheep. They clearly do.
Oh, yeah,
Little Snow White.
yeah, there's I named my cat Odin, my red,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hi,
and he's my bottle.
Odin.
He
Oh, I had a couple of those. Oh, cats.
he
Oh,
I think I get visited by, you know, Odin's ravens. I get the two that come, or I get crows. I know my ancestors visit me because I get hawks. I had 4 hawks fly over here, and 2 of them landed, squawked at me, watched me. One flew away, one stayed, and I sang to it. I don't know what the fuck I sang, but it was like more like a I don't know. Anyway, and then it allowed me to come in, grab my phone, went out there, took one photo, and I get a lot of really awesome shit that happens to me.
yeah. It's because you're in bound
And
with
it's
me.
not my imagination.
Nope, it's not.
No fucking Barney shit here. It's real.
Mhm. And it also gets real weird. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm like, am I Storm from the X-Men? Because sometimes I swear I'm controlling the rain. When I'm in a bad mood, it rains every time. Every time. And so sometimes I'm like, do I need to be in a bad mood? We're in a drought. I've been so happy.
Oh my
But then like when
gosh.
really great things happen too, like if I have a big event coming up, then I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. It'll rain. It'll rain or snow, like some type of precipitation will happen out of the blue. And sometimes it'll only be in one area.
You
And so I'm like,
you
that
control
must be
all water.
crazy. That's I'm like, I must be. And then
Dang.
like my friends will call me and like, are you okay? It just started raining over here all of a sudden.
I don't want that to happen.
But it's
You
also I'm
make
like,
it
I love
rain.
water. I make it rain every day. We need the precipitation. Let's clear it out. Because sometimes the dirt just gets so hard and it
The earth
becomes
needs a bath.
hydrophobic. Yeah, it's like hydrophobic if it's been wet dried for too long. So let's get it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let it soak
Oh
in.
my God, I love that. Because you're right. You're right.
It's been
Aw.
really fun. I like this.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we were able to connect and
me
yeah,
too.
it was a nice, easy, flowing conversation. That's what it's been so far. It's just been like I feel like everybody is just like, "Hey, hi, I know you."
I had a feeling too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. I'm like, I have to be able to talk to this
Yeah.
girl. So she has to be smart. She has to, get my shit. You know what I mean? Like, see, and I say that and I say that, and I wonder if that sounds really vain or cocky, but you
Who
just,
cares?
when you're talking about this
That's none
kind of
of their
shit, you
business.
kind of have to have so I watched you for a while. I'm stalking you. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
good.
And
A lot of people are honestly. They're like, "How do I get in contact with you?" I'm like, "Please email me. I can't even look at my phone."
that's so awesome.
It is. It's really nice. I'm like, "Oh, yay, okay, let me help." But also I'm just so crappy with my phone. Like, I'm like, people are like, "Text me." I'm like, "I wish I could, but somehow my text messages are worse than my emails now." I'm like, I just created a whole new email, logged out of all my other emails. I'm like, this is the one that will get the emails. Because otherwise I'm just too much of a space cadet. I'm like, I will just be like, I'm not here. I'm not in the material world. And when I am, I'm most likely driving or working or dealing with a kid or dealing with an animal. So when I get on my phone, it's for a little bit. Like, I swear my hair's never done in the things, but it's not because I don't do anything. But yeah,
No, I love it. I love it.
it's a vibe. It's been really cool doing this and getting to know everybody.
Good. Good. You just, yeah, you glow. You're glowing right now. I
Thank
love it.
you. It helped. And when I do these things, that's what it became is and especially for you, I would like to say this since you have a 2-6 on your day. And energy response to you is very important. Your heart stuff is important. So it's meant to be something that is easy for you and that does give you energy afterwards. Like after this, I'll be able to go do more stuff as opposed to being like, oh, okay, I need to take a nap now. And like sometimes, like when I'm talking to people and having sessions and doing readings and all of that, the only reason why I still do it because I was accepting a lot of money doing a corporate job and it was so good and I was so good at it, but it still drained my soul. Now I'll be here talking to somebody for like they'll pay me $20 when we'll be talking for 4 hours, and then I'm so full of energy because
Oh, I
I got to
know.
do that thing.
And so, yeah. And so if you're drained afterwards, like sometimes what you feel beforehand is important, but also what you feel afterwards is far more important because now you've felt the energy. So just pay attention to that for you. Um,
I
Little
do.
by little. Yeah, you're going to do it even more because you're going to be doing some type of job that's going to be weird and wild, just like you. Granted, I would love to say you came off as super weird, but you didn't.
Okay,
Came off pretty normal
that's
and
good.
totally chill and
Because I don't.
grounded.
I always wonder. I really. Okay,
Yeah.
good. 'Cause I've always been told I'm a lot, or like I people they don't feel understood a lot.
Mm.
So when someone takes the time to kind of get to know me, it's nice. And this is like, I don't know, I'm being vulnerable. It's all me too, so I have to
And
be
thank you for
vulnerable.
doing that because this is going to go on the internet, not to freak you out or anything, but people are going to see this. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to freak you out even harder. So many people are going to see it. You're going to be the most watched episode of all.
Shut the
But
fuck up.
it'll be good. It'll be good. And people are going to learn from it. And people may comment on it or they won't, or maybe nobody sees it or a million people see it. But even more than anything, we had this conversation. And also, it may be a whole bunch of years down the road too, that all of a sudden somebody's just going to watch it and be like, what on earth? Exactly. They're like, I
Look at
needed
her
to hear
hair.
on this day.
She has wings.
She's an angel, an earth angel.
I am, I think. I think I'm a few things.
Yeah. You should really, I
I
mean,
like it.
I don't say stuff for no reason. Also, I will say this
I
on
like it.
here, which is a download that I got last night, which is I am not necessarily always speaking just from guides and angels and all that. I'm speaking y'all's words that y'all aren't saying because y'all aren't making videos.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's why, because I'm a good girl and I want to do well. So my
Mm-hmm.
whole point of doing this is to do what I'm supposed to do and figure
Mm-hmm.
it out. I fucking
It's
know.
weird. It's weird though. You still gotta be patient with it. It's just hella weird. And you're like, yes, I know. I have a job. I'll do it. But
Oy, oy, oy.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I've got homework.
yeah. Even if it's just recording something and not posting it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We're gonna go. We're gonna be done.
Thank
And
you.
I really appreciate your
I
time and
appreciate
energy.
you, woman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Send me pictures of your feet. Just
Oh,
kidding.
okay. I'll show you right now.
Hey,
That's for
the
free.
reason why I like hands and feet because they show strength.
They
And
do.
I
I
don't know
love
why.
hands.
And
I love.
hygiene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like you can really based off of nails and
Veins. If you have thick
yeah,
veins, you drink a lot of water, you take care of your body.
yeah,
It's almost like a visceral sign of
yeah.
like,
Health.
he's so veiny.
And you're like,
Or
oh, and you can
she.
protect me, and you can
Mm,
run a while because you're hydrated. Like I like that.
you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because, oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. I don't know where that came from.
No, I
All right.
didn't.
I'll
You
talk to
needed
you.
to. All right. I'll see you later.
All
I
right.
say that because I guess we are going to see each other later. So
Yeah, probably.
yeah, probably we'll probably do another one of these.
Probably. Because this was fun.
It's fun. It was easy. So anyway,
All right,
have a
honey.
good one. I'll see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was so cool. Officially hella sweaty, y'all. Officially hella sweaty. This is the first time I'm actually staying in the meeting afterwards, so I forgot I could do that. But that was just such a great conversation. Went by super fast. I was like, oh yeah, it's time. It's time now. Y'all, if y'all want to be a part of this or whatever, let me know. Y'all can email me at Synchronicity Sagas. It's all gonna probably be in the descriptions or whatever. And I just want to say a big thank you to Celeste for giving me the time and energy and talking with me and taking that big step, because being an introvert and then just being like, oh yeah, I'll be on the internet now is is not an easy thing to do. So, and everybody who's doing it, even if you feel like it's easy, I don't think anybody who's doing these interviews are coming in being like, and I'm ready for all this. And so yeah, thank you all for who have been participating and attempting to participate, because things get weird and wild, as we know, with the schedules. So please, please, continue to be patient with me. But other than that, y'all keep a lookout for the numbers, and y'all stay like super synchronized.